Alright, so maybe you're about to start selling on Etsy, or you've already been selling on Etsy, and there's probably a few things that you don't know just yet, and I'm gonna break these 5 things that you need to know before you start selling on Etsy in 2026. And I'm sure this will still apply in 2027 as well. So before we get into it, why should you listen to me? Well, I got onto Etsy about 10 years ago, started with $500 in a heat press, and now have done multiple millions of dollars on the Etsy print-on-demand platform. We've done multiple $100,000 months selling on Etsy, taught multiple other students how to do this as well. Students going from $5,000 to $10,000 plus per month, $30,000 plus per month, and I even have a handful of students who do consistent $100,000 months themselves. So let's go ahead and hop into it. 5 things you need to know before you start selling on Etsy in 2026. First and foremost, lots of people mistaken this just because this is pretty much how they started. Etsy is no longer a handmade marketplace, and that's actually been quite some time. This was in 2013 when Etsy updated its policies to allow sellers to use production partners. That's when everything pretty much changed. It stopped being strictly you must physically make everything yourself and became a platform that allowed businesses to scale. A lot of original sellers were upset about this, and a lot of original sellers are still upset about this till this day. But think about this logically. If someone like myself started making shirts in the garage and suddenly starts selling 500 per week, what happens? They either cap their growth, burn out, or they scale. I started with $500, a heat press, some vinyl, some heat transfers, 0 per month, and then eventually we started doing consistent, not only 4-figure months, not only 5-figure months, but 6-figure months. At some point, I needed to get a warehouse, hire people. I couldn't press everything myself anymore. Growth requires evolution. So there's no way they could have possibly just started and just stick to just handmade marketplace, right? Now in 2026, Etsy requires meaningful creative involvement. That's what they have the creative policy in place for now. You can use production partners, you can use print on demand, you can use AI design tools, you can use AI mockups, but you must take part some point in the creative process itself. So if you're using print on demand, you should be the person designing, or your team is designing, creating the designs and whatnot. You can't just necessarily do both. So if you're not creating the designs, you have no say in that part. You should be making the actual product itself. So something along those lines. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know I'm fairly accurate now at this point. I've looked over it quite a handful of times. You can't just resell random factory products. Like, you can't just download an SVG and upload that for sale. You have to make some alterations to the actual design, add your own value to it. Etsy does not require you to physically sew every single thread. They require creative ownership at this point. That's a big difference. All right, number 2, Etsy is a marketplace. I think a lot of people don't really understand what a marketplace is at this point. So a marketplace is a platform where you can set up shop on their platform. So think of it like as a fair, or like a pop-up boutique, like kind of trade show, where they're the event, right? They're the event host at this trade show, and they allow you to vend there. They're bringing in all that traffic, all the people there, and it's not necessarily your event, but you're able to be there and take part of it, and they're going to be able to supply some of the traffic for you to sell to. So with that being said, on this marketplace, Etsy is a search driven marketplace. A lot of people have failed to kind of understand that, but if you're an Amazon shopper, you should truly understand it. You hop on Amazon and you're not just waiting for products to pop up in your face. You're searching for what you want, and you're a pretty warm buyer because you actually want this product. So you treat Etsy the exact same. It's intent driven. Customers come on here and they search for what they want. All right, they're searching for products. It's not up to you to provide. Let's say your name's Jason, your brand is called Jason's Brand. They're not coming on here to buy your brand unless like you have extreme search, you have extreme demand for your actual brand, right? And you decide to sell on Etsy, which if you're building a brand, you should probably already just do it on your own marketplace. On your own platform, like a Shopify store. But they're coming on here and they're searching for things like a custom dog hoodie. Now they see your product. You might be supplying a custom dog hoodie, and they might like your design, they might like your prices and so forth. Then they're going to be ready to purchase from you. They already trust Etsy. They already know, like, and trust Etsy, and now they're searching for what they want on Etsy. It's a search driven platform. They're searching for what they want. You're not just supplying a whole bunch of slop on Etsy and just hoping that someone's going to buy it. Okay, they're looking to buy something, but they're looking for what they want. That's why you can make a whole lot of money without doing all the additional marketing work. You don't even need to do marketing, really, because that's why it's called a marketplace. It's already self-sufficient. There's already traffic coming to it. It's just that you have to supply what the customers actually want, what they're looking for. If you're going to go out there and do TikTok ads, Facebook ads, Instagram reels, create all this additional content, then you might as well be driving that traffic to your own website, your own platform, so you're paying less transaction fees. But now let's talk about the fees that's on Etsy, right? The 6.5% transaction fee, the listing fees, the payment processing fees. It might sound a little high, but what you're actually paying for is the traffic that's coming to Etsy, and you're taking advantage of the traffic that's right there. They're purchasing products that you're supplying that customers are already looking for. So you can compare that to running paid traffic to your own website. Ads on Shopify, the apps you may have, the email softwares and whatnot. If you've ever ran your own store, it's more expensive than the fees that you're actually paying on Etsy initially, so that you get that traffic to your own website, and you might not even get any type of conversions because they don't know, like, and trust your own website to begin with. You have to do a whole lot of work to your own platform and make customers trust it. That's why, the fees may sound expensive to most people on Etsy, most new sellers on Etsy, but you'll soon realize that the fees aren't actually that high in comparison to whenever you're running your own traffic to your own website where you don't even see any type of sales. So for beginners, especially, Etsy is leverage. You're leveraging the built-in buyers, the trust, the built-in traffic that's already there. If you're driving all your own traffic, you might as well sell on your own platform. All right, on to number 3, SEO. You see it all the time. That's search engine optimization. You're optimizing your keywords, your tags, your titles, so that is optimized for a search engine. But let me tell you something. SEO and keywords do not matter unless you actually have demand, right? I talked about how it's a search-driven platform, so it doesn't matter what you're supplying or what your design is and whatnot. If you truly created this design yourself and you thought this was something that might work, you don't necessarily know 100% if there's actual demand for the actual design. So it does not matter how well your keywords, your titles, whatever it may be, is if your product does not have any demand, because no one's going to look for it. And whatever it is that you created, it might have some type of demand. You might have created like a dentist shirt, truly created yourself, and you might think it's great and whatnot, but you didn't necessarily prove that demand for the actual design by doing some product research. So even if you use all the proper keywords and titles and SEO for the dental keywords, even if they got to it, they might not still convert. Okay, so the SEO and keywords and all those things do not matter unless you prove the product is actually in demand first. This one triggers a lot of people because they think they're going to come on here with some truly amazing original designs, and it might be amazing, and they think they're just going to start seeing sales. You have to do the research first to make sure that there's actually demand for your designs, your products, your niche, whatever you are selling. SEO does not create the demand. It just amplifies the demand. If nobody wants the product, no tag strategy is going to save you. Beginners obsess over titles and keywords, but in the beginning, you should really obsess over seeing the research, doing the research, and seeing which niches and which product types are actually the ones that work. SEO becomes powerful after you validate the demand. Buyers are searching for it. You have something people actually want. So if you want to understand product research, we have more videos on the channel talking about product research, and I'll link it at the end. Number 4, competition is not the problem. Quitting early is the biggest problem. There are millions of sellers on Etsy. There's millions of sellers. There's also tens of millions of buyers. Most people upload 10 listings, see no sales, and they decide it's saturated, it's too late, everyone's doing it, I missed the wave. Here's something Henry Ford said, and I think about this a lot. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So if you think you can't do this, you're right. If you think you can do this, you're also right. You have to remove all those limiting beliefs that you may have about how successful you can be. Whatever limits your beliefs, like if you really think that you can't hit these numbers, then you're right, because then you're limiting yourself. You already put this thought in your head that you can't be one of these great sellers, you can't make a whole lot of money, and you know what? It's going to be everyone's fault but myself. And I will always say this, you need to take accountability and just believe sky's the limit. It's the moment that you believe sky's the limit, it's the moment that you're going to continue to chase this until it works for you instead of giving up. Etsy really isn't saturated. It's just filtered. It filters out the impatient, the perfectionist, the people who are afraid to test and list and list and list and try again and make it better every single time they list. Number 5, most of your listings will be duds. No matter how great of a designer you are, no matter if you get your pricing strategies right, no matter if you get the demand right, your SEO right, most of your listings will be duds. Here's the part nobody wants to hear. Most of your listings will not work. That's normal. And let me share something that's worked across all industries I've ever been in when it comes to having success. You'll find some exceptional, sellers who do like very, very well, like consistently. But look, let me even explain like the greatest. And we're talking about in different industries. Look at Drake, right? The music artist. He's charted over 350 songs on the Billboard Hot 100. 500, but only 13 of those went number one. That's roughly 3 to 4% becoming chart-topping hits. But I will say this, that 3 to 4% is what carries your whole career. Same thing happens on Etsy. You can list 100 products, right? But only 3 to 4 of them are going to be like the crazy winners. But those 3 to 4 listings can really carry your shop. Like those 3 to 4 listings can be the ones that take you to $20,000, $30,000 per month. But think about how much energy you spent on all those other listings that you created. You did really well. You got your pricing strategies down. You got everything down, and you became better and better over time. And eventually you got those 2 listings that really carries everything. So with Drake, the music artist, even one of the biggest artists in the world, a small percentage is what makes those massive wins. Now, here's another example. If you think about it, like you're trying to knock it out of the park every single listing you create, right? Now look at Babe Ruth. He had 2,873 career hits. 714 of those were home runs. That's about 25% of his hits being home runs. And the same thing works when it comes to Etsy. 20 to 30% of your listings are going to be the ones that actually work. Okay, so you're gonna strike out a whole lot, and most people strike out so much that's when they quit. They don't even give it time to understand that their knowledge is building up, their skills are building up. The people that do the very best are the people who carry it on year over year. For example, your first Father's Day comes up, you get a few listings up, you didn't get any sales. It's a really big season right here. Now the next year comes, maybe you found 1 or 2 winners, and then you think that's kind of it for you. You probably saw like a few $100, and then like by the end of the year you feel like you're not getting enough. You never know, by the 3rd year comes around, you might be posting a few listings in Father's Day because you have now a history of knowledge of what you tried in the past. And then now when you list this year, you might start seeing those $5,000, $10,000 a month that you're looking for. Most people give up before they see their first breakthrough. You don't need every listing to win. You need a few hits. And once you find a hit, right, you hit one, then you optimize, then your SEO matters more, then you double down on those listings. But if you quit before your first strikeout, then honestly, you'll never see that home run. Etsy in 2026 is not about being the most creative. Yes, being creative does help you, but it's not about being the most talented either. It's about understanding the demand, testing intelligently over and over again, staying in the game long enough for your hits to actually show up. Drake did not need every song to go number one. Babe Ruth don't need every swing to be a home run. You don't need every listing to work. You need a few that changes everything. If you want to work directly with me and my team, get coached to your first $5,000, $10,000 plus per month, go ahead and click the link down below. And I also post one of those product research videos right here as well.